Welcome back. We have a lot more for you, as you can see. And of course, still coming up is the issue of Natasha Akpoti, the senator that was suspended, and the Senate. But before we get to that, let's talk to the people in the ADC. Ibrahim Mani is the chairman of the board of trustees of the ADC. The new bride in town will joining us from Abuja studio. Mr. Ibrahim, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me, and good morning, viewers.
All right, fantastic. So we just learned, I'm sure we're going to see the visuals of the opening of a new party secretariat in Niger State, where we understand that the ADC is claiming they've taken over the entire structure. We don't know what that means. Maybe you'll provide insight for us. But maybe let's begin from there. A new party secretariat has been formed, and you're taking over structures in the north. But some persons in the north have already come out to say that is not exactly the case. What do you make of it?
Yeah, okay, fine. There is no doubt that a lot has happened within the last couple of days, particularly as it has to do with what our party is able to achieve, the things that we're able to put together. Taking over structures is a gradual thing, but certainly a lot of it is evident. People are moving into the party in troops. As you're all aware, there are clear indications of that as well. We had to host our website on 3 different occasions within the last 1 week. Because it was crashing as a result of influx of people wanting to register online as members of the party. We're trying to build a new party bottom up, trying to get people to key into it. Of course, Nigerians have been waiting for an opportunity to have a party or an alternative to the current situation they're faced with. Knowing fully well that things are not as they should be, and there is a lot of suffering in the country. And so when people see a sign that something positive is likely going to happen, of course, they will gravitate towards such an opportunity. And that is exactly what we're experiencing in the African Democratic Congress. The elections we're trying to angle and navigate towards, it's still 2 years ahead. So it requires a lot of planning, a lot of confidence building, a lot of opportunities for this kind of actions you're seeing in Niger State, where lots and lots of people will come into the party, develop the structures, believe in the party, be the ones that will actually be the agents that will bring about the change we want in this country.
Mr. Mani, let's talk about in fact, let me piggyback from what has been said. Mr. Dennis Umakri, the chairman of the YPP, I think described the members of the coalition as PPM, political party mongers. I watched Senator Shehu Sani, who is now in the APC, in one of his remarks on Twitter, he said, when you look at the coalition, are these people that you can trust and commit Nigeria's destiny into their hands? When you hear such remarks, do you think they have a valid point in looking at the array of people that are on display here to be able to say whether or not Nigerians can trust them based on their pedigree?
You know, people can go around saying all sorts of bunkum here and there. I mean, trash and nonsense about what people are doing genuinely to bring about, like, the change that we all desire in this country. We cannot stop people from saying what they want to say, but the reality on the ground is what we need to consider. Are these people actual players in the political scene? Are these people really coming together in a way that they can make a difference? If not, then why are we having all this sort of reactions we are getting from the government in terms of how jittery they've become and how they are throwing all sorts of spanners in our wheel of progress. Certainly, if it doesn't add up to anything, then you don't expect those type of reactions we're getting. And like I've said earlier, people are free to say anything they want to say. It doesn't mean that it's actually what the case is.
You know, these issues are not things we can just wave away with the hand, because these are actually deep issues, and it speaks to values or the lack of it. And I want you to speak specifically to these issues. I was just looking at in 2019 when the ADC in Kaduna State spoke about, you know, rescuing Kaduna State from despair and hopelessness under Mr. Nasir El-Rufai, who was governor at that time, said that we're going to send Governor El-Rufai packing because his administration had failed to address the plight of the people in Kaduna State. I mean, you have personalities in the ADC now, or in that coalition, whose characters, whose track records have been questioned. So, Dr. Ibrahim Mani, I want you to speak specifically. Did you have to make a major compromise really to accommodate these people? So speak to their personalities. Mr. El-Rufai, Mr. Rotimi Amechi was part of the previous government. Mr. Atiku Abubakar, part of the PDP government, 16 years, which the APC says brought Nigeria to where it is right now. I want you to speak to those personalities and the debate about really why is the ADC going down this route with these people?
Yeah, so you see, a political party is an all-comers affair. You cannot categorize people clearly who have no criminal records, because the Constitution requirement is that people who have been convicted by a competent court of law are forbidden from coming into political parties to contest elections, or people who are underage or are not Nigerians. Political parties are generally not created in a way that they should exclude people from becoming members of the party. But it doesn't mean that everybody comes in and at the end of the day they are able to achieve whatsoever ambitions they are coming with. What we are looking at now is how to build a party that will be the face of the opposition movement in Nigeria. Is going to take some time, it's going to take a lot of efforts. But what alternative do you have? It's better to build a party with people who believe in the fact that there should be a credible opposition in Nigeria than to allow the country drift to become a one-party state.
So are you saying,
this is where we are.
Dr. Mani, are you saying,
earlier,
pardon me, Dr. Mani,
irrespective of what...
Pardon me, Dr. Mani, are you saying that they are all born again in your eyes now?
Yeah, okay, so some of them are Muslims. I don't see how they can be born again in that sense. I don't know what crimes you have convicted them of that you are now asking them to atone for. In politics, you try to create your own narrative and make your own standpoint clear and be able to sell it to the people. And at any particular time, you look at the situation and you act on that. And that is why political situations are dynamic, and people have to be pragmatic in their approach. So as the tune changes, of course, the dancing style should also change.
Okay, I'd like to talk about a lot of the reactions from the northern blocks of the ADC. But before that, the presidential candidate of the party has been criticizing this as a hijack. That's Mr. Kachiku in 2023, the candidate in 2023. So first of all, what exchanged hands before this official adoption of the APC by the key coalition figures? Was there any purchase?
No, nothing like that. Let me make it clear to you. We started these negotiations about a year and a half ago. Of course, the first thing they wanted was for us to outrightly sell the party, and which we said no, we have created this party and have allowed it to evolve to an amiable height over the last 20 years, because we want it to be something that can be used for the development of the country. We are not transactional in our politics, and we told them that the best thing they can do is to come and infuse into the party. And it took us a lot of negotiations to be able to get to that. And that is exactly where we are now. So it is not an issue of people buying the party as it's circulated. A lot of the members of the National Working Committee of the party at the national level will still remain within the National Working Committee for those coming in to join them and create a new National Working Committee in the weeks to come. And that also transcends to the zonal structures in the party, the state structures and the local government structures. We did a lot in order to open up the party, including constitutional amendments that will be ratified at the next convention, so that we allow new members to come in and for them to be able to contest elections and feel at home in our party without necessarily giving any particular individual an advantage over the others.
Mr. Imani, I would have asked how much was offered when they wanted to buy over the party, but I know you won't disclose. But going to the northern blocks now, the ADC in Adamawa State is kicking against this official adoption of your party by the key coalition figures. I'm reading here the ADC chairman in Adamawa, the ADC national secretary, I believe also, or publicity secretary, Mr. Musa Meitara, is kicking against it. There's a division between the ADC in Kebbi State. Some are in support and some are in favor of the official adoption of the party. How is the party handling this alongside the other litigations around the office of the national chairman of the party? Wouldn't this be a problem, an obstacle in the wheel of progress for the key coalition figures ahead of 2027?
Okay, one thing you are supposed to ask yourself is, the people coming into these coalitions are not ordinary Nigerians. They are people who are leaders, people who are administrators, people who are strategists. And if the party has all of these things you are mentioning, do you expect them to also forget about them or look the other side and come into the party? But let me break it down for you now. It is true that Dimobi Kachiku came into the party as a presidential candidate in 2022, and then clearly it didn't take us long to realize that he wasn't actually running for election. He wasn't ready to do anything. He didn't form a campaign structure. There was no campaign office. There was nothing in terms of someone who wants to run for the presidency of Nigeria. Within a short time, his true intentions became clear. He rallied around about 9 or 10 of the party chairmen and got them to support his initiative for a regime change to take over the party. And they took us to court, and in 2022, they got a judgment from Justice Binta Inyako saying that the leadership of the party, that means Chief Nwosu and the other members of the NWC, cannot continue, that there has to be a convention. That judgment was appealed at the Court of Appeal. Justice Yamama Tukur and Justice Daudu, as well as Justice Ogochukwu, gave the party a ruling squashing the earlier High Court decision of Justice Inyako, saying that party matters are party matters, and there's no need, and that it is wrong for any court to interfere in the internal democratic processes within the party. It is true that the same group appealed the decision of the Court of Appeal at the Supreme Court. And while the case was still going on at the Supreme Court, the chairman that took us to the Supreme Court wrote a letter and approached the Independent National Electoral Commission for an alternative dispute resolution mechanism to be instituted so that they are brought back into the party, because of course we expelled them 2 years earlier. And in its wisdom, INEC, in a groundbreaking move called the ADR, we met on two separate occasions, and at the end of the day, peace was brokered. And the agreement was for us to bring them back into the party, reinstate them into their various positions in the party, and it's on their own hand they are to approach the Supreme Court and withdraw the case. This has been achieved months ago, and it's part of what we're able to do. Like I said earlier, that we have done a lot of internal rearrangements in order that we allow for the adoption of the party as the coalition party in Nigeria. So as it stands now, there is no case anywhere instituted against the African Democratic Congress or its leadership. And also, this is a leadership in transition, and it's and of course, we expect that a lot of this will come up from the people who...
Mr. Mani, we're totally out of time. I think you've raised, you've brought a lot of clarity. These are the questions that I'm sure that Mr. Kachiku will be willing to respond to, because I don't know whether it's instituted to that effect as to the leadership. But now you put that position quite clear to for everybody to hear, and then it's for us to do the checkings and all of that. So it's an ongoing conversation, as always, when it comes to politics. Ibrahim Mani is the chairman of the Board of Trustees of the African Democratic Congress, ADC. Thank you, sir, for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me once more.
All right, so we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get to the issue of Senator Natasha Akpoti-Oduaghan and the Senate. What were the pronouncements of the courts yesterday? We read a couple of things, but we haven't seen the certified true copy. But we're going to have that conversation as to what the future is for her and the Senate activities concerned. Join us again in just a moment. We'll be right back.